Hello, this is Adam of American Teacher on YouTube. And if you haven't done so, please click on the subscribe button and give me a like. Today's topic is going to be the good old days. And before you say, okay, boomer, I'm not a boomer, I'm from Generation X. But really, I don't want to get into the differences between the different generations. But I've noticed something that bothers me, and that is that artificial intelligence and social media and aggregated news apps are creating a sort of echo chamber. Back when I was young, of course, we still read newspapers. We watched the news, the evening news on TV. And we got our news from those sources. But nowadays, most people get their news from the internet apps. And these apps have like buttons or buttons that you can like posts or like apps. And the more they have algorithms that determine what topics you are interested in. And they will show you more of those topics. So say for instance you like an article about the US, then the app will show you more articles relating to the US, just for one example. And the problem with that is it creates this sort of echo chamber where a lot of the news that you hear is news that you want to hear, and the news that you don't want to hear or the posts you don't want to see disappears. And the problem with that is it can give false impressions to people. I know a lot of people from my hometown and friends back in Tennessee who thought that President Trump was going to win re-election, and they thought it was a done deal. It was the only way Biden could have won is through cheating. But I kind of have another point of view, and I, as a disclaimer, I have to say that I'm not a fan of President Trump. But this topic is something that I noticed even before Trump was elected, and that is these apps prune the articles for you and the posts for you so that you see what you want to see. And this drives me crazy. I don't want to always see liberal news. I want to also get the other side of the story, and make my own decision. And that's the way we used to do things. But now it's harder and harder to do that. And I think it creates a false perception among people that their point of view is the most popular point of view, when it may not be. So what can be done about this? I'm not sure. For one thing, I try not to click. Now, of course, I click like on social media posts, especially from friends and family. But on news apps, I try not to click the like button because I want my news feed to remain somewhat unbiased. I want to see stories from different sources and from different points of view. So getting back into talking about the division, political division in the United States, and division among the different political parties, different political beliefs. I think that some of this is fomented by the news articles trying to serve you articles that they think you'd like to see. So I grew up before the internet, and I see what's going on. I realize that it wasn't always this way. And so I'm more skeptical about what I read. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing about how journalism has suffered due to the loss of revenue for traditional forms of media. Now we have, but I just want to say this, now we have, small media companies that have an outsized influence, and not many people are checking up on these, small media agencies that just crop up overnight. And some of them do have an agenda, and some of them are probably financed by foreign countries who have an agenda in dividing the American people. So what I would say is this: try to get your news from as many different sources as possible. Try not to depend too much on news aggregators, because they're made to sell advertisements, and they will serve you what they think you want to see. And I think a well-educated populace is essential to democracy. And we cannot just put our fingers in our ears when we hear people whose viewpoints we don't agree with. That's not the way things work. You have to, debate people on the facts. And I know it's hard sometimes if someone's been in their own echo chamber and they haven't tried to get news from different sources. It's hard to debate with someone like that. And there are some people who will say that, hey, this source of news is biased, that source of news is biased. A lot of sources of news are politically biased, but you have to look at many different sources of news, even sources outside the U.S., like the BBC, for example. I found that a lot of the BBC's coverage is more unbiased than say some American media companies when it comes to politics, American politics. But it's not just about politics. We are bombarded by information all the time, and we have to weed out the information that is questionable, dubious, and listen to the information that is backed up by many different sources, even if it's something that we don't like. So that is my topic for today. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.